What?
How are you?
Hello, mate. This is Patrick from On the Street in Sydney, Australia.
How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. How are you?
Good, not bad.
Just start off with a few questions, or you like to talk about anything in particular?
You can ask any questions you like.
Alright, how's the band going at the moment, currently?
Things are going very well with the band. We are currently on tour with Motley Crue here in the States.
Yeah?
We've been on tour with these guys for the past about 6 weeks. The tour's going to last about another 2 weeks, and then we're supposed to be going over to Europe for a while.
How do you get on with those guys?
Very well, actually.
Good.
Well.
Yeah. Talk about it is getting pretty big in Australia and stuff. I've been in the carnivore for a long, long time. What happened?
Okay.
What happened with carnivore?
Right.
Did talk about negative the next sort of thing from carnivore, or did carnivore split? Because you don't hear too much in Australia about why bands split up, or talk about negative anyway.
Carnivore actually. It was a thing of my past. I mean, Carnival existed from 5 to 10 years ago, and I think that I'm a totally different person now than I was.
I see the difference in type of negative from music and
right.
lyrically.
So I don't think that type of negative is in the next step, after Carnival. I think one is actually that Carnival is a product of my extreme youth, and as I've aged, I think I see the world a bit differently, and I think it's called for a title change as far as the band name went.
Yeah, I think it's a good progression either way. It's the two really good bands, and they're both really different, which is a good step to be doing the next sort of project. What's with as a drummer in Type O Negative's doing a side project at the moment called Life of Agony?
Actually, he is now completely out of this band, and he's in Life of Agony, and we have replaced him with Johnny Kelly. Yes.
And how long since that's happened?
That's almost a year, actually.
Yeah. News from America is usually about 6 months after something happens from America, so it's a long while before you really find out anything at all.
Of course.
Yeah. What's the direction with the band from, say, the new record to the next? Is it going to be the same sort of mellow type of thing, or?
I would think so. I think it'll be a continuation of Bloody Kisses. However, I'd like to make the songs a bit shorter so that they could be a bit more commercially accessible. But I think they will still be dark and melodic.
Yeah, it's a very melodic record. The new one's really good. With you say playing with Motley Crue at the moment, what's the crowd reaction to your type of music?
So far it's been really well. Are you talking about Motley Crue's fans?
Yeah,
what they think?
Half and half.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, a lot of their fans haven't heard of Type O Negative, and at first we seem to be playing to a lot of wide open eyes and dropped jaws, but usually towards the end of the set, it seems that we've won them over, that there's a lot more people applauding at the end of the set than had been at the beginning, and also this has been reflected in record sales as well, whereas before this tour started, we were pushing about 800 units a week, and now it's up to about 4,000.
How did you, with the Motley Crue I've been listening to Motley Crue from the start as well. They're a really, really big band, in Australia and everywhere else.
Right.
It must be pretty good for a band like you, not so big, compared to Motley Crue, to get such a spot.
No, it certainly is, yes. Yeah, the exposure is doing wonders for us.
It's doing a lot already?
Oh, yes. I mean, as far as record sales and everything else. And after this Motley Crue tour, we plan to go to Europe for 2 weeks, and then when we come back, we're going to be doing a headlining tour of the States here. And so we will hopefully reap the benefits of this Motley Crue tour then. Yeah,
that's good. Is there while you're on that subject, any chance that the band will be ever coming to Australia?
I would love to come to Australia. I mean, as you know, it's probably going to be really expensive, to ship us over there, but that is up to the record company.
Yeah.
If they want to foot the bill, I'll be on a plane tomorrow.
Yeah, that's good. They haven't had too many big bands in Australia. They get the really big bands, but the last year or so they've had a few smaller bands that, I mean, I'm not sure what type of music you listen to, but they get like more heavy metal, death metal type bands that are coming here, and they're sort of opening up to bands like yourself to end up sort of getting bands like that out here. It's been a pretty good year. But it'd be nice to see that type of band coming over here. I think there's not so many people sort of into, you know, everyone's into more the heavier thing lately. It's sort of more an in thing, but the stuff that you're doing is more, you know, I think everyone listens to it at home, but you don't want to sort of admit it type thing, but they're better musically type bands like Type O Negatives. It's better for, I think the crowds here should be listening to stuff more like that.
Hopefully they will someday soon.
Yeah, with the new record, there's a question here. It's not one of mine actually, but what is meant by the Jesus Christ looks like me in the first song, I think.
When I had written the song Christian Woman, we were like as the song went on, like after the song ended, you know, we just started doing this riff, and as a joke, I was going, you know, Jesus Christ looks like me, because when I grow a beard and a mustache, everybody seems to say, well, you know, you look just like Jesus Christ, and they say, no, Jesus Christ looks like me, you know, so it's kind of like a stupid little joke there, you know.
That's good. Do you have any religious beliefs towards music, or is it just a concept type thing, or?
Well, I mean, I could say that I was raised a Catholic. I don't consider myself to be a Catholic anymore. I consider myself to be a pagan, and I think that I do put some of those feelings and those beliefs into my music. Though, I mean, I don't consider this by any means a religious album or anything like that.
Yeah. You seem on some of the new stuff, sort of, there's a lot of songs towards women and stuff. Have you had bad relationships or anything to have written about those type of things?
Well, I think anybody, you know, that has ever, you know, had any kind of relationships has always had a few bad ones and stuff. I mean, I don't dwell upon them, you know, but they seem to make good song topics.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, everybody can understand the broken heart.
Yeah, it seems it's stranger from that's like I said, listening to the carnival where I suppose if you go back even stuff like that where there's always a woman type of subject somewhere along the line, like male supremacy or something. Still, it's sort of strange for a lot of bands won't write about the heavy stuff, you know, and still singing about the love type thing. They don't sort of mix too good, but I suppose more just emotional feelings coming out in the music. Is that true?
Up until the day that I die, I will always love women, so they will certainly always be a part of my songwriting.
That's good. So what's the influence of the Bee Gees cover? What bring that up on the record?
The Summer Breeze cover?
Yeah.
That was always one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it goes back sort of to where you first started type thing?
I would think so. You know, that's something else that just started out kind of as a joke.
Yeah.
And, you know, we figured, well, why not put it on the album and see what happens and see how people react to it. And there's a lot of people that don't realize that is a Seals Across song, that is not a Type O Negative song.
Yeah.
They think that is something that I wrote, and I have to correct a lot of people and, you know, and tell them that this is just a cover.
You changed some of the lyrics in that, in the song?
The original version, yes, I did, but then we were forced to go back and do the original lyrics because Seals Across didn't like the idea that I changed their lyrics.
Yeah.
So they would not release the rights to it unless we went back in and I did everything exactly as they had done it.
Alright. Because I remember when I bought the CD and that song sort of just came on, it was like a bit of a spin out, you're not expecting it. Then I sort of heard it at work a few days later, the original one, I just sort of had a bit of a laugh, you know, it's just strange that you don't expect that type of thing to come on there, but I suppose the original music just doesn't seem so far different from it really anyway. It's still mellow and stuff. With the band, what's at the moment, how long have you been on the tour that you're doing at the moment?
Well, we've been on tour with Motley Crue for about 5 weeks. We've been touring almost constantly since last January, though. We were on tour with 9 Inch Nails. We did a headlining tour and some other regional stuff.
Yeah. Is it changing your life anything with these big gigs playing with bands like Motley Crue?
Well, I mean, I miss home, you know. I miss my parents and I miss my girlfriend. and everything else that goes along with is, being able to wake up in your own bed and taking a shit on your own toilet.
So you still keep in contact with those people regularly?
I speak to my parents like every other day, and I speak to my girlfriend just about every day.
Yeah, so you busy all the time doing this tour and stuff?
Actually it's feast or famine. Either I have like 100 things to do at once, or there is nothing to do at all. So, this just happens to be one of our few days off, and so I figured, well, why not make the best of it and, do some interviews and try to get some Australian press out of it.
Yeah, that's good. How's the, on the album itself, it's got a nice mellow type sound. Does it come across that way live? Is it still, like, you can recognise it, the type of sound really good? Same type
what? I'm sorry, the top one?
With just the type of sound you got on the record, it's nice, mellow.
Oh yeah, well, as you know, I mean, it's quite heavily produced, this album, and we try to reproduce it as, close to what is on the CD as possible. There are certain things that we have to change simply because we are only 4 people in this band, and there are physical limitations to what can and cannot be done, but we try to keep it as close to the CD as possible.
Yeah, it's got one of the nicest acoustic sounds I've ever heard, and I hope to hear more of that type of thing in the future.
Great.
It's good. Because I have an old carnival gig, because a lot of my friends are into carnival and type of negative. They're sort of always playing both sorts of things, and it's a big change and very aggressive type band from the before. Did you have back then more of a skinhead type of crowd, heavy metal type crowd, or everything?
Back then, we had a huge skinhead following.
Yeah, because I remember on the video I've got where you had your head shaved basically, and now you got long hair again, I think.
Yeah. We had about 50-50, skinhead, long hair type of audience, but they were always carnival shows are always very violent. I mean, there are always riots and always people getting beat up, and stopping shows and jumping into the fights myself and stuff like that.
Do you want to try and get away from that type of thing as changing to this band?
Well, actually, that I was in carnival when I was 22, 23, and I was more into that, back then, more into proving my manhood and stuff, like kicking the shit out of people. But now I don't think I have to do that anymore. So. How
old are you now? 30?
I'm 32. I try not to fight anymore, unless somebody really pushes me. I try to walk away from people, but if somebody pitches my girlfriend's ass, I'm gonna fucking snap their spine like a twig. But that's my right.
Yeah, but I've been listening to the stuff you've been doing for 9 years. So I suppose back then I'm 27 now, so I was only about 16, 17, 18 years old type thing. And I remember when Carnival first came out, it was one of the heaviest bands I'd ever heard at the time. And it took a long time for anybody to sort of get into that. And now I think the same thing with Type A Negative. It might be a few years before people realise that they were good then, not sort of a few years later down the track when you might be doing something different again.
Well, I don't know. As my life changes, so does my songwriting. Yeah,
I noticed that from the start. It's a big change, I suppose, from the last 9 years or so. Do you have any plans of, changing again, or you just wait till you change, or?
Well, I think that the next album is going to be, pretty much like Bloody Kisses. I don't see any major change coming soon.
That's good. Is there any plans of the next album already, or you haven't started anything with that?
Actually, I have everything written, for the next album. It's just a matter of getting into the studio and doing it. And the record company really doesn't want a new product out until not this September, but the September after.
Yeah,
so they want us to tour for another 14 months or so.
Yeah. So you sort of have to wait till they're ready, type of thing, do you?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it can wait. There's a lot more touring that has to be done. I mean, I certainly want to come to Australia, and
be good.
I would like to get to Japan and possibly South America and shit like that.
Yeah. I listen a lot to it because I play guitar myself, and you notice with a lot of the stuff you play, like your bass lines, is sort of really stand out. Like ones on if you go back Race War or something like that, where it's really melodic and a lot of feeling type in those bass. Do you with the noticed you get on type of negative sort of feedback and stuff and retaliation. There's a lot of feedback. Is that intentional, or you just sort of like you don't care? You just that's how it is.
Well, at first I didn't care. You know, I just used like a very heavily distorted sound, and I just turn it very loud, and like when I turned the bass on, I just like scream and squeal away. But that was fine. It just became my sound.
Do you come up with the guitar parts? Is that your stuff as well, or is that you work together with the guitarist?
Well, actually, I write everything, and so I pretty much tell Kenny what to play and shit, and we try to coordinate turning on at the same time, so we feed back at the same time and shit like that.
So with the bigger gigs that you're playing like now, does that sort of improve all your equipment type of thing, and you buy more stuff and all that, or you just use the same type of equipment as before?
Well, actually, what is happening, I mean, as we're getting bigger and we're touring a lot, the equipment is taking quite a beating.
Yeah.
So when we get back home, we're about to ask the record company for in advance, so we can upgrade our gear.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get equipment endorsements, but they're not too easy to get. So I'm not going to count on that.
With the guitars and stuff, you bring in the road, do you only have the one each, or you bring a few with you? Or?
Well, we have about three instruments each.
Yeah.
And then we take with us, just in case there's a breakdown, because there are always problems on the road.
Yeah. So, is it a busy thing, like you drive sort of from town to town in a bus type thing, or planes, or how do you go about it?
It's on a tour bus, and
boring?
Huh?
Is it boring, the driving?
It's really fucking boring. Yeah. But, we try to make the long drives at night, so that we can sleep through them. But, if they can't be done at night, there's like a CD player on the bus, and there's a TV and a VCR and shit like that, and, we play cards and, try to keep ourselves occupied.
Yeah. I hear one of the questions that somebody else has wrote down for me to ask is, a live record that came out not too long ago, which I haven't heard about actually.
Right.
Is that true? There is one out?
Well, there's a so-called live album out. It's called The Origin of the Feces. And what had happened was we did a European tour a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it was quite successful. And there was a big interest in Type O Negative after that tour. And the record company wanted a new product out quite soon. And asked us to go and do a live album. And so what we did was we just went into my friend's studio and we made believe that this thing was a live album, and we just took all the money for the budget and just kept it and gave the record company this tape and told them that it was live, but it was not.
Is there any plans of doing a proper live one in the future, or is that up to the record company?
I would think somewhere down the line, we would do a live album, but there are no plans right now.
So with the band, sort of as you tour and stuff, you're obviously around each other all the time. Is there any problems with each other? Are you good friends, or?
With Sally,
just the band, everybody good friends, or is it sort of?
We're all friends.
Keep it out.
It's quite easy though to get sick of each other.
Yeah.
Looking at the same faces day in, day out. Like you have a problem, and you're still stuck on the same bus.
Yeah.
But you just have to learn to let the shit roll off. When you're trying to deal with it as best as you can.
That's great. I'll just about wrap it up anyway.
Okay.
But it's been nice talking to you anyway, and thanks for your time.
Well, thanks for your time.
It's been great. I hope to see you sometime in Australia one day. It'd be great.
That'd be great, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
All right.
Bye.